Okay, so it's day one here in Hamburg at the Aircraft Interiors Expo. We're on another of the many seat manufacturers that we're exhibiting here this year. We're on the stand of Acro. I'm joined by Tommy Plant, who's the Executive Chairman of Acro. Thanks, Tommy, for inviting me on the stand.
You're welcome.
Showing off what you are exhibiting this year. So let's start with what we're sat on. We're sat on a sort of a premium seat, but as you were discussing before we started, it's very much a modular-based seat that can be bespoke for various usages. So just tell me where you are in development of this particular seat.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working on the product now, the refined new version of the product for about 6 months. Yeah. We plan to certify it and launch it at the end of Q2 of next year. It has a launch customer, a US-based customer, airline. A lot of features on the product, different versions. You'll see different versions here on each row of the product. This is kind of the more fully featured version. Obviously, It reclines. It has a deployable leg rest. It also has these nice privacy wings and an adjustable headrest within the product. Charger for your phone, for wireless charging. Things like water bottle holders. And then behind the seat, you have a kind of a more simplistic version with rear mount footrests and dropping off the privacy features, because not all airlines want some of those features. Yeah. Probably this is the configuration that would be more likely on a wide body premium economy, a long haul product. Yep. If you were to go with a more short haul on an A320, you possibly wouldn't want some of these features, but it really depends airline by airline.
But the seats behind us demonstrate what that might look like on a short haul. There's screens in the seat behind you here as well. So some with screens, some without. Again, you can pick and choose really as an aircraft airline operator.
We're just wanting to try to show the range of features that the product can produce, such that it can appeal to anything from a low-cost carrier up to a tier 1 airline.
Yeah. The other feature you mentioned to me is it's accessible as well. So you've got an armrest there, but it will slide so that you can.
It's an armrest here. It has a discrete latch here on the inside of the arm. It's really not something that's meant to be adjustable from when you're seated in the seat. But the general idea is the flight attendant comes along and works the arm, slides it back. You've got handicap access now, so it's easy to slide into the seat. Yeah. And then the flight attendant can push the arm back into position.
And you're in place.
So it's easier in getting in and out of a wheelchair to access the seat. So this is quite a unique device. You'll see a lot of other products from other manufacturers where the arm, it might flip up, it might drop vertically. We tried to really, go with some kind of differentiation on this product and have it sliding fore and aft.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the challenges of all the seat manufacturers. It is differentiating your product. Where do you feel you've got the most scope to stand out a little bit from the competition, and where do you think you're being innovative and leading the way?
So I think historically, Acro was founded in focusing on low cost carriers initially, on a really basic seat. Low maintenance, low cost, simplistic, not many features. And I think over the past couple of years, we've found that we've had periods where we've dominated a lot of that market, and now we need to try to move upstream and be appealing to the more higher end carrier. And that's why we're developing products like this premium economy product that you see here. And I suspect that we'll develop more.
Yeah, and actually, maybe you're finding some of the traditional low-cost customers are themselves wanting to offer something a little bit more premium. Not going the full-service carrier route, but something a little bit more customer comfort and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the low-cost carriers are challenged in their marketplace with the way we see things kind of economically right now in the world. So many of them want to move. They want to try to move upstream. Obviously not a huge level of upstream, but certainly to add more features.
Yeah, just to go a bit beyond what's expected, and that's very much good.
And compete with the majors.
Yeah. So on your stand, on this side, there is what you were talking about just now, your traditional low-cost seats, which don't recline. They're slimline. They're the basics. Talk to us about what you've got going back then. There's got different features as you move back in the stand.
Yeah. At the front, we've got things like our non-reclining seat, which is standard for low-cost carriers. But then as you move back through the stand, you've got versions that recline, you've got versions that have integrated power systems in them, which are kind of number one features in today's market. As you move further back there, we have long-range products, so seats that add articulation, that add video integration. At the far back of the stand, we have our regional seat that we are delivering to Deutsche Aerospace on their new Eco product that they're launching. We're in the final phases of certification. We're about to make delivery on that product, so that's fairly exciting. And then way in the back, we do have an eVTOL seat that we've been working on primarily to support the Chinese marketplace of eVTOL solutions.
What does an eVTOL seat? How does it differ? What's the challenges around the eVTOL?
It tends to be more basic in terms of functionality. Obviously, it needs to be highly weight efficient. For lack of a better kind of analysis, it's more similar to a helicopter seat.
Yeah.
The crash conditions on an eVTOL are going to be different than on a commercial airplane seat. Okay. Commercial airplane seats, it's a forward crash. On an eVTOL, it's a down crash.
Right. Okay.
So there's a whole different set of certification requirements that we need to meet there. And we're in the final phases. We haven't fully certified that product yet, but we are in the final phases of certification.
Are there other things you're developing for the eVTOL sector, because it's innovative and new, that actually will become commonplace in commercial aerospace? Are you learning things there that you think, actually, that can be reused elsewhere?
I actually don't think so. There isn't a lot of overlap. It's a very much a unique market. It's obviously moving at a certain pace there. It's relatively slow, but in the US there are some a couple of the eVTOL solutions are getting FAA approval to do some kind of test runs. So it's going to be interesting how that pans out. Yeah. It's just a new market. It could take off. It might be exciting. It might have exciting volumes associated with it. So our parent company wanted to make sure that we provide a solution to meet that market. Our parent company is in all kinds of seating, everything from construction machinery seating to automotive seats. We're the seat supplier for Teslas, as an example, on all of the Teslas that sell in the China market. So
your parent company is Chinese.
Yes, right? Absolutely.
So, but you're a company that was formed, that was founded in the UK.
Yeah, we were founded in the UK, just in the Gatwick region. We relocated to Northamptonshire around the 2019 timeframe.
Right.
We've been there since that point in time. We're managed as a standalone kind of turnkey business, although we do have a Chinese parent company.
Yeah. How is there's a number of very good and very well known seat manufacturers based in the UK. There are others around the world, but the UK does seem to be have a little bit of a specialization in this area, probably because of our affiliation with the aviation industry in general. How do you find operating in the UK in terms of finding the right people and skills and talent, and any other challenges that you have?
Well, I've always found that the UK is quite an innovative country, so it was well suited to work in the aerospace interiors market. There's been lots of historical manufacturers there over the years, some that were bought by French and by American companies, but there's always been a number of players in the UK. It's a good environment. I think it works well for us. I think as we grow as a business over time, you'll see us want to introduce operations in other countries also. But right now we're exclusively based in the UK.
Yeah. And how many people do you employ in the UK?
It varies depending on what our production volumes are, between 150 on the low side and 200 on the high side.
Okay, so you have to scale it up and down.
Yeah, it depends what our production volumes are.
So we're here in Hamburg. We'll be here for 3 days, and a lot of people will come by your stand, I'm sure. What kind of conversations are you expecting to have with potential clients this week?
We always get a lot of detailed conversations. Any airlines that are buying new aircraft types and new volumes, they might have specific RFP, request for pricing considerations. But you'll also have a number of airlines that just want to walk around from a speculative basis. They may not have worked with us in the past. They might like to see, what we might be able to do for them in the future. So often you get things come out of nowhere sometimes at this show, which tend to be quite.
Which is why you come.
Yeah, which is why we come.
Serendipity of it.
It's
you don't
absolutely
know what turns up.
It's why we invest in it. It takes a big investment to come here.
Yeah.
But it's we see it as a critical part of setting the stage for all of the various proposals that we're going to respond to over the next year.
Yeah. You've got one of the biggest stands, and it's very striking. All the seats are in Acro green, and you've got the Acro logo on them. As we were talking about before we started, as a consumer, you don't really know what the seat is that you're sitting on. It's not the idea. We don't really care what the brand is.
Yeah.
It's the airline's job to say, well, actually, we want this seat to represent us, and that's
right.
Is that one of the key trends in partnerships that you have with airlines? You can have something that it looks like it's the airline's own seat, and they can sort of put their personality onto it and branding.
I mean, I would say if there was one airline in the world and one plain vanilla seat, it would be a pretty boring environment to fly in, wouldn't it? Yeah. I mean, it's you want to appeal to that individual carrier and what their needs are. I mean, they all have different mission profiles. Some are purely short-haul carriers, some are purely long-haul carriers, some are a mixture of both. And you want to design the product to meet their needs. And I think we like to consider ourselves as a flexible supplier. And so we'd like to give the airline what they want, possibly more than some other manufacturers might like to do. They might to deliver more of their off-the-shelf solutions. But I think customization in the industry has been the thing that has historically driven it to new heights, and it'll continue to be important going forward.
We've obviously seen recently the need for airlines to keep their hardware in the air longer, to extend the life of these very expensive assets, because they can't get the new aircraft off the suppliers as quickly as they'd like.
Yeah.
So are you having to sort of react to that, and there's demand to retrofit new product new seats within them?
I would say over the past couple of years in particular, there has been more of a focus for us, which is different than what we've had in the past, in making sure that we have excellence in product support and spare support, spare parts delivery, ability to rework and reconfigure and refurb our products that may have been in service for many years. So it's turned out to be a very, very important part of our business over the past couple of years, and it's something that we've kind of pushed to new heights recently.
Yeah. The other really important part that everybody is focused on is making things sustainable. So that's everything from the covers to just the sheer weight of every seat.
Yeah.
Is there more to be done on that, do you think, as an industry? I mean, are we getting to the point where we've done all we can really to make it as sustainable as possible?
I think it is tough with some of the advanced materials like carbon fibre.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is we actually produce about 55% of the parts that are in this seat within our own factories.
Right.
The rest are purchased from various sub-suppliers, but we make all the metal work. We make the composite backrests that are in the seat. So we've put careful consideration into making our composite backrest out of a resin that can be recycled, which is quite unusual for the industry. But I think there are some limitations there. We have a kind of an accreditation on our Series 9 product that it has a high degree of recyclability. You know, I think it's something like 99% recyclable or something like that. You can't do absolutely everything, but we've done as much as we can. That obviously gets more difficult when you start to integrate electronics and things like that into the product.
Yeah.
There are some limitations, for sure.
I've seen maybe it's a trend, maybe it's something that won't really take off, but it's almost going back and saying, let's take out some of the electronics, let's take out some of the heavy equipment, and produce something a little bit more, I would say basic, but because of the modern designs, they're actually just as comfortable as the seats with all the equipment, but they are lighter because of that. Do you see that becoming a bit of a trend as well?
I think we do, particularly on some new aircraft, but then some older aircraft have existing architectures that are very hard to change. So even if you retrofit the aircraft, you might stick with some historical systems on those aircraft.
Yeah. Look, I think our time is up.
Yep.
Thank you for showing us the product, Tommy, and good luck to the future.
Yep.
And we look forward to seeing you in an AIX in the future. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you.